Welcome to Wealthfinity, where we provide insights and resources to help you navigate the complex world of finance and wealth management. In today's economy, two major forces can significantly impact our financial well-being: inflation and recession. Inflation, the steady rise in prices over time, can erode our purchasing power and savings, while recession, the decline in economic activity, can lead to job losses and investment losses. As investors and consumers, it's crucial to understand the dynamics of inflation versus recession and how they interact with each other. In this definitive guide, we will explore the causes and effects of inflation and recession, their differences, similarities, and how to protect your wealth in times of economic turmoil. So sit tight, and let's dive into the world of inflation versus recession. In the world of economics, inflation and recession are two concepts that can greatly affect the financial health of individuals and countries. While both have the potential to cause economic hardship, they are fundamentally different in their causes and consequences. In this video, we'll explore the differences between inflation and recession and what they mean for your wealth. Inflation and recession are two critical economic phenomena that can have significant impacts on a country's economy. Inflation refers to a sustained increase in the general price level of goods and services over time, while recession is a significant decline in economic activity, usually characterized by a decline in gross domestic product, GDP, and rising unemployment. Both inflation and recession can have detrimental effects on the economy, and it is important to understand their impacts to take necessary measures to address them. The impact of inflation on the economy. Inflation can have several effects on the economy. One of the most notable impacts of inflation is a reduction in purchasing power. As the prices of goods and services increase, consumers can buy fewer goods with the same amount of money. This can lead to a decrease in consumption and a drop in demand for goods and services, leading to lower economic growth. Additionally, inflation can also lead to higher production costs and reduced profits for businesses, which can lead to lower investment and employment. Inflation can also lead to an increase in interest rates. Central banks can raise interest rates to combat inflation by reducing the amount of money circulating in the economy. Higher interest rates can reduce borrowing and investment and discourage consumers from making purchases, which can lead to lower economic growth. Moreover, inflation can also have negative effects on income distribution, with those on fixed incomes or with less bargaining power suffering the most. The impact of recession on the economy. Recessions can also have significant impacts on the economy. One of the most notable impacts of recessions is rising unemployment. As businesses cut back on production and reduce their workforce, unemployment rates can rise, leading to a decrease in consumer spending and a further decline in economic activity. Additionally, recessions can lead to a decrease in business investment, as companies become more risk-averse and reduce their spending. Recessions can also have a significant impact on consumer confidence, as people become more uncertain about their future prospects and incomes. They may reduce their spending, leading to a decline in demand for goods and services. This can further exacerbate the effects of the recession and lead to a prolonged period of economic decline. Moreover, recessions can have long-lasting impacts on economic growth, with the potential for a permanent reduction in output and potential growth. Comparing the impacts of inflation and recession. While both inflation and recession can have significant impacts on the economy, their effects are different. Inflation tends to reduce the purchasing power of consumers and lead to higher costs for businesses. In contrast, recessions tend to reduce economic activity and lead to rising unemployment and reduced investment. Inflation can be particularly challenging for those on fixed incomes, while recessions can have the most significant impact on the young and vulnerable. Additionally, the tools used to combat inflation and recessions are also different. Central banks can use monetary policy tools, such as interest rates, to address inflation, while fiscal policy tools, such as government spending and taxation, are used to address recessions. In general, the response to inflation tends to be more straightforward, with central banks increasing interest rates to reduce the amount of money in circulation. In contrast, addressing a recession can be more complex, requiring coordinated fiscal and monetary policy measures to restore economic growth. One of the most common causes of inflation is an increase in the money supply. When a government or central bank prints more money, it leads to an increase in the amount of money in circulation. As a result, the value of each individual unit of currency decreases, causing prices to rise. Inflation can be especially problematic when it is not accompanied by an increase in wages, as it reduces the purchasing power of consumers. Recession, on the other hand, is a term that describes a general decrease in economic activity. This typically means a decrease in gross domestic product, GDP, for 2 or more consecutive quarters. A recession can be caused by a number of factors, including a decrease in consumer spending, a decrease in business investment, or a decrease in government spending. One of the most common causes of a recession is a decrease in consumer spending. When consumers have less money to spend, businesses experience a decrease in revenue, leading to a decrease in economic activity. This can create a cycle of decreasing demand and decreasing production, which can lead to a prolonged period of economic stagnation. The effects of inflation and recession can be felt in different ways by different individuals. Inflation can be especially difficult for those on a fixed income, such as retirees, as it reduces the purchasing power of their savings. Inflation can also make it more difficult for individuals to save for the future, as the value of their savings decreases over time. A recession, on the other hand, can lead to higher levels of unemployment and can make it more difficult for individuals to find work. A recession can also lead to a decrease in the value of assets, such as real estate and stocks, which can affect the overall wealth of individuals and businesses. Inflation and recession are two economic concepts that can greatly affect individuals and countries. While they are fundamentally different, they can both have negative consequences for wealth and financial stability. Understanding the differences between inflation and recession is essential for making informed financial decisions and protecting your wealth. As always, seeking the guidance of a financial professional can help ensure that you are making the best choices for your financial situation. In conclusion, the inflation versus recession debate is one that has been ongoing for years, and it's a topic that is constantly relevant in the world of economics. It's important to note that while inflation and recession may seem like polar opposites, they are often interconnected and can influence each other in complex ways. A sudden rise in inflation, for example, can trigger a recession if it leads to higher interest rates and reduced consumer spending.